Action.
A mouse stole my fish stick. I was real hungry. I had been drinking whiskey. Evan Williams is my favorite brand. Dollar for dollar, Evan Williams is probably the best whiskey that you can buy. Seriously, it's coming from a whiskey drinker. And so after I was getting my drink on, I was hungry. I went to the kitchen. Now I went in the refrigerator, right? I opened up the freezer, looked in the freezer, had these expensive fish sticks. They probably cost $9, like some gourmet organic fish sticks. Can you even have an organic fish stick? I have no idea, right? And so I put these fish sticks, fish and chips, French fries in the oven, and once they're done, it's still hot, and I put it on the plate. That's not the truth. I didn't put it on no dang on plate. I left it on the cookie sheet. I'm a single man, yes. And so these hot fries and fish sticks are on the stove, and then I'm sitting back and I'm still drinking, but I hear a mouse start squealing, and I'm like, what the hell? And so I rush straight to the kitchen to go and check on my fish sticks. I'm still hungry and they're hot, right? And so I move the cookie sheet over to the sink and I lift up the stove top, and there goes a damn little mouse looking at me, just big eyes with my fish stick. And so the fish stick must have been super hot because he was just squealing like, ee, ee. It's rather disgusting. This is a disgusting story. And so he just stared me down, just looking at me. And so I look over at the sink and I reach down. And as I reach down, the only thing I can grab was a bottle of vinegar. So I come back with this bottle of vinegar and I'll squirt that stupid ass little mouse. Yes, I did. And he took off. And then I had to throw away my fish sticks. I mean, he only had one fish stick, but it's a possibility that the little mouse put his little paws on the other fish sticks. I had to dispose of my fish sticks, and I was still drinking whiskey. Uber Eats. But it was kind of late. Uber Eats saved the day, even though they didn't have fish sticks. Why'd I tell you a story about a mouse? You're like, why the hell did you have mouse? Don't worry about that mouse. I'm going to put out some glue traps, and that mouse is finna go away. But I live in the projects. You say, hey, why do you live in the projects? Because I'm a convicted felon. And since I'm a convicted felon, they say I can only live in specific places. And this is one of those places where they said I can live. That's my problem, right? But there's a whole lot of people who live in the exact same complex with me. Lots of wonderful, beautiful people with children, right? And they go to work and they go to school, right? Every single day, just wonderful American citizens that so happen to look like me. Or, multiple different complexions. They're human people. And these children, what if they don't have Uber Eats? And what if a mouse steals their fish stick? When I listen to rap music, especially New York rappers, Jay-Z and Nas and these individuals, DMX, they talk about how they came from the projects and made $1 million and they left the projects. And as I live at this place right now, and I'm like, holy Christ, am I supposed to leave this place and let some little child have their fish sticks eaten by a mouse? Like, is that how it's supposed to happen? And you say, why don't they hire an exterminator? That's a wonderful question, right? Like, why do slumlords behave the way that they do? And why does the government do business with slumlords? These are good conversations to have. Like, once upon a time, I was in the United States military, right? And I was on an aircraft carrier. And it was going through an overhaul. And to build a new aircraft carrier cost about $11 billion. To refurbish, to overhaul an aircraft carrier costs about $4.5 billion. And so they didn't feel like building a new one or the time or whatever. So they just refurbished that bad boy, $4.5 billion to go to war. And when I say that, I want to ask a conversation, an honest conversation. Like, how much are these wonderful people who live in this mouse infested apartment complex? How much are they worth? Is that a good conversation? And when I mention rappers like Jay-Z and DMX and, Nas and all these famous people who overcame these situations, like, do you ever think about those people that still live in the place where you're from? Or is that even my responsibility to even care about those folks? Nah, forget about those folks. That's their problem. I don't care about the fact that the mouse ate their fish sticks and the fish stick was really hot and it burnt the mouse's mouth and the mouse started screaming and the little child, well, it wasn't a child, it was me. I went to go check on my fish stick and damn, I had to throw away my fish sticks. Or was I supposed to eat the fish sticks? I think that mice carry diseases. Like, to have a conversation about living in poverty in America is one of the most bestest things. But you think because, like, I don't have no big TV. I still got like an 11-year-old TV. Once upon a time, I bought a little TV. It was expensive when I bought it, but not no more, right? But because American people have big televisions and iPhones, we think that, like, they're not poor. But everything is really region specific, ain't it? Like, I can't compare myself to the family down the street. I can only compare myself to where I'm at. And right now, this geographic location called America, the cost of living is more expensive than a third world country. And so it's not really equivalent. Like, it's a false equivalency. And so if we as American people can't have honest conversations about what happened about what's happening to our nation, then our my fish sticks might continue to get stole. And I don't want to say goodbye to my fish sticks. I want to have an honest conversation on how to solve the problem because media is one of the most fastest growing things, especially independent media. One of those fastest growing things in the whole entire right. You watch YouTubers become millionaires so instantly. You watch power happen in America, transfers of power happen so instantly, and it comes from engaging in interesting and excellent dialogue about power. Like every group is getting power. Women are getting power, right? Gays, lesbians, transgenders, all these people are getting power, and them very specifically that group of individuals. The L, the G, the B, the T, all of these letters, they represent people who have different ways of life, and they came together to get power. And now when I look at all these different men who have different ways of life, if we don't come together and become powerful, then we're just getting left behind in this whole power dynamic that's happening in America right now. And you know what men do? Men build things. They figure out how to build things. And so if a group of men came to help me figure out how to create more better content and tell better stories, I'm gonna buy better, bigger equipment, tell better stories, make more money. And I can't just leave the projects and say bye to the people. Nah, hell nah. They're a part of me. Like their lives, their smiles, their stories, to know that they exist and they live in this exact same place that I came from. I can't leave them behind. You have to be ambitious, and I want to be an ambitious person, It's like when I've seen so many amazing things. I saw a mouse steal a fish stick and then stare at me like, nigga, what you gonna do? I took your fish stick and what? And I sprayed him with some vinegar. I'm gonna catch that sucker in a glue trap. I promise I'm gonna catch him. But to know that this lived experience is for real, I think that it's my duty, my responsibility to figure out how to change this. And then as a man, men have feelings and emotions just like every other person on the planet. I have to humble myself and say, hey, dear men, can y'all come help me create the most dopest content, period, so that we can generate enough funds to come back and buy the projects. Like that's my goal. Everyone has to have a goal. I want to buy the projects. Not only do I want to buy the projects, but I want to renovate the projects and then give the people who lived in the projects they own apartment building. I mean, it's be their unit and they own it. Somehow create a trust. This is ambitious. I don't have all the answers. I have it written down somewhere. Do you know how to do it? If you do, please get in the comments or come have a conversation with me. Hi, I'm Project Daddy. I'm a father who lives in the projects. And I'm tired of getting my fish stick stolen by mice. They say if you see one mouse, that you better believe that there are other mice, like at least plus 6. I'm so glad that his friends weren't with him, because then I would have saw 6 mice screaming because of eating these hot ass fish sticks. That's like a disgusting story. We live in shame. And since we live in shame, if you see me looking, I'm trying to make sure that, ain't no mice running around. It's nasty. And so when you live in shame, then other people are living the exact same conditions as you, but they say, nah, I ain't got no mice. It's a problem. It's an epidemic. Lying is an epidemic. Men refusing or pretending not to be men is also an epidemic. And so let's build some shit. Let's have a good time, tell dope stories. And let's make sure that men are as powerful as every other group in America. The greatest American alive.
The greatest American alive. The greatest American alive. The greatest American alive. The greatest American alive. The greatest American alive.